Hello everyone, welcome to the lesson today. The lesson is in English grade 10 and was created by the teachers of English group from TIểHigh School. In this lesson, we will continue Unit 7, Cultural Diversity, and there are two parts for you to study. Part 1, Culture. You can see it in your textbook on page 24, and Part 2, Looking Back, is on page 24 and 25. Before we come to the first part, I have a question for you. What is your idea of success? It's not an easy question, is it right? And I have some options for you to choose. You are successful when you have a lot of money, or you can enjoy a happy life, or you have a status in society, or you are respected by colleagues and friends. You can choose whatever you want. The answer is not supposed to be true or false, but the most important thing is that you have to give your own idea to get the listener to agree with you. Now, let's come to the first part, culture. In this part, you will know more information about the idea of success of Americans and Vietnamese. In order to help you to understand more about the first part, culture, I would like to introduce to you some new words. The first one, decent. It is usually used before now, and is meant of only good enough standard or quality. Nghĩa là đàng hoàng tử tế. The second, prosperous, is mean rich and successful. Phồn vinh thịnh vượng. And the last, self-reliance, a state of being able to do or decide things by yourself without depending on the help or advice of other people, is meant sự tự lập. Now, listen and repeat after me. Decent, prosperous, self-reliance. As you can see, there are two texts about the American and Vietnamese idea of success. To be clearer, you can open your textbook on page 24 and read the text. Now, let's come to task 1. In task 1, you scan two texts in the textbook and fill the following phrases in the correct columns. And my question is that, how can you scan? What is scanning? Scan, when you want to read something quickly to find out a specific piece of information. Scan, if you have a question that you need answered. Scan, when trying to find a phone number, looking in a dictionary, or searching through an index. Scan là gì? Scan là đọc nhanh bài viết với mục đích tìm kiếm dữ liệu, thông tin cụ thể cần thiết cho việc trả lời câu hỏi. Scan được áp dụng khi cần tìm kiếm các dữ liệu trong bài viết như là tên riêng, số liệu, ngày tháng hoặc các cụm từ mà không cần nắm được nội dung của bài text. And now, let's start. Have you finished? Let's check the answer. So, as you can see, Americans focus on self-reliance and having a decent standard of living, while Vietnamese focus on being respected by colleagues. However, they have some similarities, for example, earning a lot of money and having a high position in career. Another text for you. Please read the text again and answer the questions. There are 3 questions for you. 1. What is the American idea of success? 2. Who can be considered a successful person in Vietnam? 3. What are the similarities and differences between the idea of success in the two cultures? Now, let's start to read and answer. Have you got the answer? Now, let's check. For the first question, What is the American idea of success? My answer is, first, success has always meant providing their family with a decent standards of living. Second, as for career development, success means ending their career in a higher and more progress position than when they began it. 2. Who can be considered a successful person in Vietnam? My answer is, first, success only goes along with a high-status job with a good income. Second, being respected at work also means success. 3. What are the similarities and differences between the idea of success in the two cultures? Do you remember the activity we have done? That's it. You can base on this activity and answer this question. Or you can answer like this. Both the Americans and Vietnamese associate success with earning a lot of money. Successful persons in both cultures are expected to have high position in their career. The Americans rely more on themselves, while the Vietnamese expect more respect from other people. Let's move to the second part, looking back. In this part, we will do some exercises on pronunciation, vocabulary, and grammar. So, do you remember what we have learned? In pronunciation, we learn about stress in two syllables with the same spelling. You can revise in the lesson language. In vocabulary, we learned about the words and phrases related to traditions, cultural characteristics, and superstitions. You can revise in the lesson Getting Started, Reading, Speaking, Communication, and Culture. And the last one, in grammar, there are two grammatical points you have learned. The first, comparative and superlative adjective, and the second, articles. You can revise in the lesson language. Now, let's start the first part, pronunciation. In this part, please listen to some sentences and put the mark before the stressed syllable in the word below. Now, listen please.
Listen to some sentences and put the mark before the stressed syllables in the words below.
1. Thanks to globalization, we can export more products to other countries.
2. There was a big protest against the war.
3. There is a big contrast between the two cultures.
4. Nowadays, Vietnam doesn't import many oil products from other countries.
5. People don't object to cross-cultural marriages any longer.
Have you got the answer? Now, I want you to listen sentence by sentence, and after that, I will give you the answer.
1. Thanks to globalization, we can export more products to other countries.
And the answer.
2. There was a big protest against the war.
The answer.
3. There is a big contrast between the two cultures.
And the answer.
4. Nowadays, Vietnam doesn't import many oil products from other countries.
The answer. And the last.
5. People don't object to cross-cultural marriages any longer.
And the answer. Congratulations to the students who have all 5 correct answers. And now, it is the audio script. I want you to listen again one more time and practice speaking.
Listen to some sentences and put the mark before the stressed syllables in the words below.
1. Thanks to globalization, we can export more products to other countries.
2. There was a big protest against the war.
3. There is a big contrast between the two cultures.
4. Nowadays, Vietnam doesn't import many oil products from other countries.
5. People don't object to cross-cultural marriages any longer.
To help you to relax before we come to another exercise, let's play a game. This game is word search. Here is the rule of the game. Locate the given words in the grid, running one of four possible directions horizontally and vertically. Hãy tìm những từ cho sẵn ở trong hệ thống từ theo hướng là hàng dọc và hàng ngang. Now, let's start. How many words can you find out? Here read the answer. In total, there are 6 words. 1. Bridegroom. 2. Engage. 3. Get married. 4. Wife. 5. Wedding. 6. Honeymoon. Congratulations to the student who can find out 6 words. Now use the word you have found in the game and some more words to complete the passage below. Have you got the answer? Let's check. Jack, a friend of mine, told me a funny story. On the day he met his wife Rose, he asked her out on a date. They began to spend a lot of time together and readily they fell in love. 1 year later, they decided to get married. Jack's family were very pleased when he introduced his fiancée to them. Fiancée is meant vị hôn thê. And Rose's parents were delighted that their daughter was engaged to such a nice young man. A hotel near the church was booked for their wedding reception, and the young couple planned to spend their honeymoon in Hawaii. On the day of the wedding, guests arrived at the church. The bridegroom was waiting there with his elder brother, who was his best man. Why was Rose so late? He was worried and nearly thought that she had changed her mind. But the bride was also waiting at her house, with her bridesmaids, for wedding cards to arrive. Actually, her father has booked them for the wrong time. Fortunately, they managed to get to the church in the end, and the ceremony took place. And now let's move to another exercise. Grammar. Fill in the gap with the correct form of adjective in brackets. Add any other words if necessary. Here is the theory. You can have a quick look before you do the exercise. Have you finished? Let's check the answer. 1. Is life much harder or easier for teenagers now than it was in the past? 2. Life is more dangerous today than it was 100 years ago. Phở is the most famous dish in Vietnam. 4. Cities are a lot more polluted than they were in the past. 5. It was the most delicious food I have ever eaten. Here is another exercise for you. It is on article. Correct the sentences adding article where necessary. And it is the theory about article. You can have a quick look before you do the exercise. Have you got the answer? Let's check. 1. We are having a great time in Hanoi. 2. Let's go to Nha Trang for a week next summer. 3. Where's the money I gave on the 1st of this month? 4. For my birthday, I got a book, a DVD, and the last CD by my favorite band. 5. On the radio, I heard the song that I really like. That's the end of the lesson. Here is your homework. Try to learn by heart on the new work, and after that, please do on the exercise in the park looking back in your notebook. Thanks for your attention. Goodbye and see you again.